Another video means another car part. I also just did these I&D paint matched reflectors. I posted the install on Shorts, but they look sweet. Great fitment, perfect paint match. So definitely recommend them. Paint up an install, but you know, it is what it is. Now the part is in fact for my interior, which I have not touched much of. The only thing I really changed was this blue start stop button. And then of course I did my 6.6 to 8.8 inch conversion screen, backup camera, CarPlay, all that good stuff. I don't know what the heck that is. Oh my God. It's like in the screen completely, but you can't see it when there's no light directly on it. So I don't know. I guess I'll leave it. Anyways, for the mod, we have this bad boy right here. Full carbon flat bottom steering wheel with some M tricolor stitching, M1, M2 buttons. Don't, I'm going to remove that because I'm a peasant and I don't have that. And also paddle shifters for some reason. We're going to take those off though because this is a real man's car, okay? Banana! And a big shout out to Carbon Fibre for hooking up the wheel. Check out their Instagram. I'll also have them linked in the description. But let's go get this bad boy installed! First thing you gotta do is disconnect the battery. I put a little cloth there just so it's not touching the battery. Doesn't get power. This is my buddy's OG M2 in Midnight Purple. He's gonna help me out with the wheel because he did one recently. So here we go. This is the stock wheel. First, you're gonna get preferably a flathead. You got one hole on each side of the wheel. You're gonna have to use a flathead, stick it through and compress the pin. It's gonna kind of feel like a spring releasing, which is gonna pop out your airbag. Airbag is disconnected, then you're gonna wanna obviously disconnect all the other wires that are plugged in. I think it's a 16 mil socket to get this off. You need the strength of a gorilla to loosen this. It was honestly really hard. Boom, now the wheel's off. Who needs a steering wheel? I might just drive like this, honestly. It's a better look, you know? Different. I'm different. Got the back of the aftermarket wheel here. As you saw, I had paddles. This is the back of my OEM wheel. Got to put that on because we don't have paddle shifters, all right? This is a 3-pedal warrior car. Come on now. Get the new wheel on there. Twist this on. It's actually so satisfying tightening this. I swear to God. Oh. Then you're going to go and install like the V-shape carbon piece. I don't know, whatever it is. You got 3 screws. I think they're T20s, one by each button column thing, and then one behind the M badge. That's it. Everything's reconnected. We can go and plop this bad boy back in there. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh! Now, if you think it looks good, you're right. It does look good. But if you think we're done here, you're wrong. It's a DIY. Something's got to go wrong. You can't do this in one take. Who do you think you are? You're not special. So we have the wheel installed. The only problem is, it looks cool. I put my lights on here. So I want to go back to the OEM buttons because obviously I don't have M1, M2. Apparently you can get a wire to code it to match your Sport Plus. I don't really care about that. Then we don't have a volume up button, doesn't work. Volume down does work, mode does not work. Call works. And then my cruise control is for anti-lag, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I'm gonna take the whole wheel off, redo the install, put the OEM buttons back in, possibly rewire, I don't really know, we'll see. And then also when I put this wheel on for some reason, now it kind of feels like I need an alignment because the wheel is like not straight. I don't know how that even makes sense because there's like a notch as I showed before. There's only one way for the wheel to go on, but we're gonna try to redo it and fix it the best we can, so here we go. So here's my OEM wheel completely apart, nothing connected. This is the left side, obviously, they're blank because I don't have an M car. Then we got the functional up and mode, all the wires, heated steering, all that stuff. So we're gonna try to reconnect it to the aftermarket wheel because, as I said, that stuff does not work. We've made some progress with the aftermarket wheel, getting to it. As you can see, if you look close, you can see the tick that's on like the hub that you're supposed to line this up with. It's a little bit off, if you can see there. So I think that's why it felt like I needed an alignment, but we're gonna get this wheel off now. So I got the aftermarket modules off, the buttons, as you can see, the ones with the carbon. I was gonna do a straight swap, but then I realized these don't have carbon. So now I gotta undo some screws in the back to replace this carbon with this boring plastic. So I thought these back screws would just relieve this like carbon shell around the buttons, but it's connected to the buttons. So I'm gonna have to just run the M1, M2 that don't work, which is fine because I want that carbon look. But here it is on half of the OEM module, and now I'll do the other side. Okay, so now the aftermarket carbon buttons are swapped over to the OEM module. We're gonna connect this all, set it up in the aftermarket wheel, and see how it fits. Boom, we've got one side fastened. Ooh, I think it's like a T20 on the back, but so much wiring. I don't know how I'm gonna fit this in here. Okay, we got the other side on. You really have to like squeeze from the front as you screw from the back to make sure that the fitment is perfect, because of course, like, you know, it's an aftermarket wheel with aftermarket parts. So the fitment's not gonna be 100%. You gotta work with what you got. Now that most of the wires are tucked, we can put this front plate back on. We are ready to go back in the car. Yeah. Everything is back together, all tight, secured, on, minus this little gap. But as I said, it's aftermarket. You're not gonna get the best fitment. But let's see if these buttons work and if I just wasted like an hour of my time. Lights up. This I was expecting to not light up because I can't do anything with that anyways. We'll do like what, radio? Okay, I don't know what the f this guy's saying. Oh! The volume up does work. So does the volume down. So does mode. Wait. So does the scroll. Thank God. Okay, we're good. This is also what I mean when I say the wheel makes it feel like I need an alignment, because how the wheel sits right now, I hope you can see on camera, is how the car drives straight, right? It's a little bit tilted to the left. It's a little bit on an angle like that, and there's nothing I can do. I tried to refit it based on that notch, so don't really know how I feel about this. I think what my next best option would be is to remove this carbon, this piece, and this piece, swap that back over to the OEM wheel, which is kind of insane to think about because I've done this swap. That'll be the third time just to go back to a factory wheel. As much as I like the carbon and I like this M tricolor stitching and this Alcantara / sway, I don't really know what it actually is. This is annoying because the car does not need an alignment, and you know, I want to have the wheel straight to go straight. So now that everything is done and the new wheel's installed, all the buttons work, I'm happy. It's not perfect, but it's aftermarket, so you know, you gotta deal with what you get. And it was a bit of a tedious job. It takes like 1 to 2 hours maybe. So if you're gonna do it yourself, definitely a doable job. A little bit annoying, but not every DIY is gonna be super easy. I don't really work on my car a ton myself, so if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm gonna try to keep the ball rolling with every video being a new mod or a new part, whatever it is on the car. So stay tuned for the next one because I got some cool stuff coming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys then.